Circular1 Health is a revolutionary testing service company born out of the COVID-19 crisis, which has responded to critical businesses that need to remain operational. They offer a fully managed service, providing all elements of the science, infrastructure and highly trained staff. This includes the reporting, results, certification to customers, management of data and digital applications to enable a simple and smooth process all the way through. We spoke to their FM Adam Fahn about the past and future of such a role. Why was Circular1 founded and how has it developed since it began?
Well, the company started a year and a half or so ago, and it was the three founders that had got together and realised there was a need to get back to normal quite quickly, and testing would be the way to do that. Thankfully, there was a lot of knowledge within the founders of existing testing methods and how it could be adapted to spot COVID. And we started working quite early on with critical industry, so nuclear power stations, defence, banking, lots of industries that really can't afford to be closed. And it was really important for those founders that not only would we solve the immediate problem, or at least be a major part of solving that immediate problem, but we'd also have some legacy, and things like our academy program, training people up into with laboratory skills, has taken off really well as well. We've got a couple of those in different locations, and we've had a number of cohorts come through the academy. So being local has been something we've all talked about for years, but here we've actually really delivered it. We've offered lots of support in local areas with training, purchasing locally, and then, as I say, playing our massive part in getting the country back to normal through testing.
What is your role in the company and how did you come to it?
Well, the role found me, and thankfully facilities management is something that I'd fought to get into as opposed to falling into it, which I think too many people say in our industry. It was something that I've enjoyed for some time. I started with Circular1 just over a year ago, and of course this was in the midst of the pandemic where nothing was normal. I had first and second interview on a Teams call. I think one was a Friday night, one was even a Sunday, which is just an example of how the company hasn't stopped. Every hour, every day has been working and continuing that fight. I came in as the facilities manager, and that's what I am now. And part of my role was a number of facets to my role, which has kept it incredibly exciting. One has been working with contractors to build the new labs or to do the fit outs within existing buildings. Then there's also been the mobile labs, which are converted shipping containers, much more impressive than maybe that makes it sound, but they've got state-of-the-art equipment in it. We've used the shipping container as the structure, and then we've moved them around to different locations for 3 or 6 months at a time in order to test staff every day and have rapid results. Long before lateral flow, we were doing PCR testing, and that could give us a result within a couple of hours. LAMP testing was giving us results even quicker. And as the role has developed, we've updated health and safety policies from the original one. We've looked at health and safety equipment that we're offering to people and training. And again, as I've mentioned and keep mentioning to everyone that I talked about this company, the legacy that we're leaving in terms of training and how we treat staff really is something that I think we should all be proud of. In the past, I've worked with Churchill Contract Services early on in my career, OCS later in the career. And until the pandemic hit us, I was managing the facilities at a shopping centre, had number of service streams. What do we have? Security, car parking, guest services, cleaning. Very exciting, lots of things going on, 100 staff working for us. And then, of course, the pandemic and furloughing half the staff, drastically changing the operation overnight, led to a lot of reduction in staff, and I was one of those. I was then working with a double glazing company, setting up their health and safety systems, working as well with their fleet and telecoms. That was a 6-month contract. I say on my LinkedIn profile that what I do is make people safe and efficient in buildings, because it is so much more than volts and amps and flow of water and the real technical stuff. That's why we have engineers and we have experts in those fields. I believe as an FM, our role is bringing that all together and offering the entire package so the company can focus on its lab work, or to use the example again, publishing the magazine, whatever it may be. We provide that facility for you, and you then get to thrive without worrying about those behind the scenes elements.
How has the pandemic changed the workplace?
Well, the workplace is a fascinating term, and I'm still not really that comfortable with it. I'm an active member of the Institute of Workplace and Facilities Management, and I absolutely respect the term and I understand what we mean by it. However, I would always stress that the workplace, too often we talk about a return to the office and a return to the workplace, and we bring the workplace down to just meaning banks of desks in an office, a photocopier, a reception desk, a canteen, restaurant. And actually, it's so much more than that. Nearly everywhere we're dealing with staff is a workplace. We have, of course, the Health and Safety at Work Act. We deal with workplaces daily. It could be up a telegraph pole. It could be in someone's house, working from home. And we still have a duty to make sure people are safe, but also engaged, again, to get the most from them. So too often, return to the office, return to the workplace. I don't think post-pandemic we will see the huge amount of space per person that we've had. And I definitely do not think we will see banks and banks of desks, which of course not every office did have that, but that was a very common image. I think we'll see a lot more collaboration space, a lot more flexibility for years to come. And I think companies with IT systems and communications and their general policies will understand that there's an awful lot of roles that can be carried out from a coffee shop or from a conference room, or something a bit more flexible than the traditional office. But I think it's also really important that we don't forget the vast majority of people that, well, actually it may not be the vast majority, but certainly we all know an awful lot of people where the workplace is that shopping centre. They have to go into work to clean it, secure it, provide the parking. The engineers have to go into the workplace. And again, the conversation is all very much about us sitting at home on a fancy laptop drinking coffees on expenses. But actually, we mustn't forget the real people that make our industry work. When I was at the shopping centre, 100 staff, that was their workplace. But to 25 million people a year that came in, it was a retail destination, it was a dining destination, it was a leisure destination. So workplace itself is a very big word in terms of what it encompasses. So we would always break that down further. Are we talking about the post-pandemic workplace, or are we talking offices, or are we talking call centres, or what do we actually mean? And I could talk for hours on that. And in fact, I do have many LinkedIn conversations and may even have future videos or articles with you. So yes, there's a lot still to be decided.
What does the future of FM look like?
Well, the future of FM, of course, it's a profession that I enjoy and I want to be in for many more years. And we know there's a number of levels in FM. And in fact, a recent IWFM working group was looking at defining some of these different levels in FM, from an operational manager to an assistant FM to reception positions. There was so much, and I believe that's still to come out. I think the one thing we need to do, and we've come a long way in sort of 30 or 40 years of an FM, defined FM industry, but I think we need to see a lot more FM discussions early on. So either bring the FMs in earlier on in property searches, or even elevate their position to board level, or having some kind of board involvement, because there's a strategy involved, and it's getting the right property, which of course is a big part of what we do, but it's also, as we said earlier, it's the right location where work is going to happen. So a lot of involvement with HR, a lot of involvement at board level and strategic level, but that doesn't mean we don't still do and enjoy the walking around a site, looking at dilapidations, or taking a contractor around to quote for some improvement works. It really is a wide-ranging industry. So whether or not we find there's more FMs on one site and we do different things, or we just get involved in projects early on and give some input. And I think as FMs, we really need to learn from our risk reduction of remove the risks, substitute the risk, and before we go into engineering controls and PPE. And we need to think, before we put that sign up, have we made it clear? Have we thought about the desire lines that we know of, where the public will take a path over grass if it's the most direct route? So I think we need to make the built environment a lot more user-friendly. And that's something that I think we'll only do by understanding people. It's not more technology. It's not better ways of, it's not giving them a buzz on their phone every minute through an app. It's actually going back to basics and understanding the psychology of people and what they're expecting to see and what they'll react to. And that's an area that I'd really like to explore later on.